James O'Brien and the Sussex saga, a defender against media bias. In a world where media narratives often shape public opinion, James O'Brien stands as a notable voice of reason and a staunch defender of truth. His unwavering support for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle has frequently highlighted the toxic nature of certain media outlets and their relentless campaigns against the couple. O'Brien's recent remarks, calling the treatment of the Sussexes a national embarrassment, further cement his role as one of the few mainstream figures challenging the bullying tactics employed by tabloids, standing against the tide. From the early days of Harry and Meghan's departure from royal duties, O'Brien has been vocal in his critique of the British press. He has consistently argued that the media's obsession with the couple reveals more about the institutions behind the headlines than about Harry and Meghan themselves. His insights reflect not only his disdain for the hypocrisy of the press but also his empathy for the couple who have chosen to forge their own path, often in defiance of royal tradition. In his latest broadcast, O'Brien dissected the absurdity of the media's approach, noting that newspapers that claim to want less attention for Harry and Meghan paradoxically dedicate more column inches to them than any other public figures. His sharp observation, that these outlets use the Sussexes as a tool to manipulate public opinion, resonates deeply with those disillusioned by sensationalist reporting. Calling out the bullies, O'Brien's passionate plea for fairness reveals his frustration with both the media and those who uncritically accept its narratives. He challenges listeners to question how often they've let bullies dictate their opinions. This analogy hits home, as it frames the tabloids' vendetta against the Sussexes as a schoolyard dynamic where a powerful few weaponize public sentiment against their targets. His critique extends beyond the press, taking aim at those who consume and perpetuate the negativity. By accusing the media of fostering hatred as a business model, O'Brien exposes the profit-driven motives behind the incessant attacks. His commentary is not just a defense of Harry and Meghan but a call to arms for a more conscientious public discourse. A history of advocacy. James O'Brien's support for Harry and Meghan is not a recent phenomenon. Throughout the public struggles, he has frequently used his platform to shed light on the inequities they face. From the racially charged coverage of Meghan to the invasive scrutiny of their personal lives, O'Brien has consistently decried the double standards at play. When Meghan revealed her struggles with mental health, O'Brien was one of the few voices in the media to express genuine concern. He condemned those who dismissed her experiences, emphasizing the importance of empathy and understanding. His advocacy has remained steadfast, even as public opinion has ebbed and flowed. The bigger picture. For O'Brien, the treatment of Harry and Meghan is symptomatic of a broader issue within the media landscape. His criticism of the tabloids' fixation on the couple underscores a larger concern about journalistic priorities. As he pointed out, 8 pages dedicated to vilifying 2 individuals comes at the expense of coverage on pressing issues like rail strikes, healthcare challenges, and food supply threats. This misallocation of attention, he argues, not only misleads the public but also distracts from the real problems facing society. By focusing on Harry and Meghan, the media diverts attention from systemic issues, perpetuating a cycle of distraction and outrage. A voice of reason, James O'Brien's defense of the Sussexes is a testament to his commitment to fairness and critical thinking. In a media environment saturated with sensationalism, his balanced perspective serves as a refreshing antidote. His willingness to challenge both the press and its audience demonstrates a rare courage, one that aligns him with Harry and Meghan's own quest for autonomy and authenticity. As O'Brien continues to call out the hypocrisies of the media, his advocacy for Harry and Meghan remains a powerful reminder of the importance of standing up against injustice. In his words, the real, national embarrassment is not the Sussexes but a media machine that profits from division and hate. The bigger picture. When headlines failed the nation, it was a crisp morning in Britain, and the nation awoke to yet another deluge of headlines about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. The tabloids, as if bound by some unspoken oath, had devoted front pages, double spreads, and opinion pieces to dissecting the latest perceived slight or controversy surrounding the Sussexes. The chatter on breakfast television buzzed with speculative debates, fueling public ire and fascination in equal measure, but elsewhere, life was unfolding differently. Commuters packed into overcrowded trains, grumbling about the ongoing rail strikes that seemed to drag on without resolution. Hospitals were overwhelmed, with doctors and nurses stretched thin, battling to provide care amid shortages of staff and resources. Supermarket shelves were emptier than usual, as supply chain disruptions hinted at looming food insecurity. These stories, the ones that directly impacted the lives of millions, were relegated to the fringes of the news cycle, overshadowed by the seemingly endless drama surrounding Harry and Meghan. The business of distraction, James O'Brien, in his usual sharp-tongued style, laid it bare for his listeners during a morning radio show. Why, he asked, do these newspapers insist on giving 8 pages to a couple they claim to loathe, instead of tackling the issues that actually matter? The answer, as O'Brien explained, was both simple and damning. Hatred sells. For tabloids, the Sussexes had become the perfect lightning rod, a combination of royal intrigue, personal rebellion, and controversy that kept readers hooked. But O'Brien's frustration wasn't just with the tabloids. He directed his ire at the public, challenging them to see the bigger picture. Imagine, he said, if the same energy used to vilify this couple was instead poured into solving the rail strikes, ensuring the NHS is properly funded, or addressing why families are choosing between heating their homes and putting food on the table. What kind of country would we be? The real cost of misplaced attention, the obsession with Harry and Meghan, comes with a cost. When 8 pages are devoted to tearing down 2 individuals, it means 8 pages are not being used to scrutinize policies or hold leaders accountable. It means that pressing issues, ones that could improve lives, save jobs, or fix systems, are pushed to the sidelines, ignored in favor of selling outrage. Take the rail strikes, for example. Workers across the country were fighting for fair wages and better conditions. The impact of these strikes rippled through communities, affecting parents trying to get to work, students commuting to university, and businesses reliant on daily trade. Yet, the tabloids, instead of delving into the root causes of the strikes or pressing government officials for solutions, chose to focus on Meghan's choice of earrings or Harry's latest podcast interview. The NHS, a cornerstone of British life, is another glaring example. With wait times for treatment reaching critical levels and staff burnout at an all-time high, one might think the plight of healthcare workers would dominate headlines. Instead, those stories were buried beneath speculation about whether Harry would attend a royal event or a critique of Meghan's hairstyle. Even the looming threat of food insecurity, a crisis affecting the most vulnerable, struggled to find space in the public consciousness. Farmers warned of shortages, charities braced for increased demand at food banks, and families quietly tightened their belts. But the tabloids, in their relentless pursuit of Sussex-related scandals, had little room for these urgent matters. Why the tabloids should care? At their core, tabloids are a reflection of society's priorities, or, at least, what they think the public wants. By focusing on triviality over substance, they not only fail their readers but also contribute to a culture of apathy. When people are bombarded with stories that stoke division and outrage, they become desensitized to the issues that truly matter. O'Brien put it poignantly, if the newspapers spent as much time investigating why kids are going hungry in one of the richest countries in the world as they do on Meghan Markle's wardrobe, we might actually solve some problems. But solving problems doesn't sell papers, does it? The tabloids, he argued, have a responsibility, not just to entertain, but to inform. They have the power to shape conversations, influence policy, and hold the powerful accountable. But that power is squandered when it's used to punch down instead of speaking truth to power. A call for change. O'Brien's message is clear: the media needs to refocus its priorities. The relentless coverage of Harry and Meghan is a symptom of a larger issue, a society that's more interested in scandal than solutions, more captivated by drama than progress. The story of Harry and Meghan will one day fade, as all celebrity narratives do. But the challenges facing Britain, its healthcare system, its economy, its social fabric, will remain. The question is whether the tabloids will choose to rise to the occasion or continue to chase clicks at the expense of their readers' futures. In the end, O'Brien's plea isn't just about Harry and Meghan. It's about demanding better, from the media, from society, and from ourselves. Because if we don't care about the bigger picture, who will?